Welcome back, Halo followers. Today I want to talk about why 343's recent admission that they are going for a broader audience and the marketing goal they have is actually the root of all the things that is wrong with modern Halo and the rot that continues to make this series less than stellar. The Halo TV show is the most recent and relevant example of what might be the future of the franchise. So I talked about this topic already. I made a video very similar to this a couple weeks ago. Didn't even talk about it in depth very much, but I wanted to meditate on it and collect my thoughts and come back to it and talk about this in detail because it is a huge topic, and I think it is just underneath the surface. A lot of people know what's going on, they just don't know what to really call it or say what the actual problem is with Halo. But I think that this might be it. I've been covering Halo news for over 10 years, since 2011. I've been a fan since 05, 04, something like that, and I've seen the whole transition happen over time, and I've seen them many times try to step out of their comfort zone and go for a broader audience. I've seen Bungie fail, and I've seen 343 fail a lot too. So what exactly is going on here? Let's talk about this Washington Post real quick. Let me recap. Bonnie Ross, which is no longer at 343, she is a vice president at Microsoft now, although undoubtedly still has influence over Halo. She's talking about Halo here. She said a couple weeks ago, I think it's a huge opportunity for us being able to go off console and think about a broader audience. And I think both with the Halo TV series, bringing in a broader audience, with free-to-play bringing into a broader audience. And then for us, I think it's about learning about how to be an ongoing service and having an ongoing dialogue with fans and getting the infrastructure right. And this is not an actual quote. It is something that the author of this article put in here. Although certainly there is quotes left out of this article, it does make me wonder why they put this in here. Was it to get attention? Was it something that she said that they decided not to put in here as I don't know. But they said that Ross notes, even as 343 shoots for the stars of a universe, it has to reckon with several factors that threaten to keep it grounded, including those aforementioned fans. This, of course, left a huge falling out with a lot of people, including myself, thinking, okay, well, why are fans a problem? We're the ones that have kept it grounded. Are we not keeping it grounded from a broader audience perspective? Oh yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. So what is going on here? Big picture, let's zoom out real quick. It's like ever since Fortnite and Apex Legends and, all those Battle Royale games, PUBG, have done super well, all these AAA game developers have tricked. Kind of like Black Friday, when all those people run into an open, like Best Buy on the morning of Black Friday, for example. It's like all these game developers were so excited to get that Fortnite money that they have just tripped in trying to get to the finish line before actually doing the necessary and very costly steps, by the way, in maintaining a game that could bring in a crowd like Apex Legends and Fortnite and so on. They all just wanted to jump to this finish line, right? And I think why witnessing all these things unfolding since Halo 5 released, I think this has left 343 being one of those game developers like, well, we have Halo. We can depend on the franchise entirely. We don't need Halo to be great. We just need the branding. If we slap Halo on something, people are going to buy it. And I think that's true. Ultimately, that is true, but are many people going to buy it? Is Halo Infinite really a success? At the end of the day, has Halo 4 and Halo 5 been a success compared to the numbers if those games were actually what fans wanted? How many more sales could you have actually gotten if you respected what fans want? What I'm trying to get at is, are those games actually successful, or are they failures in comparison of what could have been if those games were what they should have been from the beginning, right? With that being said, I think 343 looked at the success of Fortnite and was like, okay, let's do that, right? And so now we have Halo Infinite. But the roots of it, I think, is them trying to go for a broader audience. I think that's very evident with the free-to-play service. And I don't know exactly what happened in game development. I wasn't there. I've heard a lot of things. I've heard a lot of rumors. But it seems like this free-to-play thing isn't necessarily the root cause, but rather the decision or the marketing goals behind making that decision, which I think is a broader audience, which I think that Bonnie Ross just admitted here. She basically said that with free-to-play bringing in a broader audience, that was what their goal was, right? It feels like that decision came from a broader audience, and that is a big problem, because it certainly feels like at this point that they're not really focused so much about making a great Halo game and making the right decisions. They're not focused on respecting fans and the legacy of what Halo is and what made it so big in the first place and how it even caught a broad audience. The only reason that Halo is a multi-billion-dollar franchise is because it caught a broader audience, right? There were millions of people playing Halo, millions of people. Across the world, people recognize what Halo is. It's right up there with Mario and Zelda and so on, right? Call of Duty. Halo is one of the pillars of gaming, whether you like it or not. Even if it influenced gaming or not, it is recognizable from all of gaming. So why and how did it do that? And I think it did that by not changing unnecessary things all the time. I really don't understand the changes that 343 has done throughout the past 10 to 12 years of Halo. Just like the Halo Infinite multiplayer cinematic. Although I do think that a lot of people disagree with me on that, I still find it to be a problem. I don't like how 343 keeps tampering with Bungie era lore and trying to change the foundation of what Halo is and what it means to people by changing the thematic values and the narratives behind it, right? As they did with Halo 4 and 5. Although they did go back to the roots with Halo Infinite, so I gotta give them credit on that. They are looking at a symptom and saying that it is the cause. The reason why Halo has been dying for so long, the reason why a lot of people, a big chunk of Halo fans left at the end of Reach, was because it stopped respecting the legacy of Halo. It changed so many things about Halo, and it was just a turnoff to most Halo fans. And they're saying, oh, well, we keep changing things. That can't be the problem. We keep changing, the story, the characters, what everything means to players, yada, yada. And instead, we need to reach out more. So instead of actually making a great Halo game and focusing on making a great Halo game and an experience, they are trying to water down the franchise. And when they say, oh, we need a broader audience, all I hear is that making a new IP is too hard and costly. So we need to make a pseudo series, a pseudo sci-fi show. And that's why I think that AAA studios are going to fail in this modern era until something changes, because it seems like these AAA game developers are at the mercy of their investors, and all that investors care about is getting a return on their investment, which makes sense. But dude, it's not good for video games, right? And that's, publicly traded companies are going to have this problem, right? And that's why I think the life of many series and franchises have died, just like Battlefield 2. I mean, very similar thing with Halo Infinite, although much worse, I would say. And I gotta say, what is the point of getting a broader audience if they're successful? What is the point of getting a broader audience again if you're just gonna ignore them and neglect them anyway in the future? I mean, they're overthinking and overcomplicating the process. It's all artificial and forced, and has like metrics and goals and all these like things baked into the game itself. And that's the problem with Halo Infinite 2, is that it was made artificially, it feels like at times. I really did have fun with the campaign. I think there were some very soulful moments, things that really did feel good, but there is something about it that is baked in there that feels artificial, that it feels like they were doing stuff to get fan service, right? And to make people happy and to prey on nostalgia, so to speak. Instead of just focusing on their vision, they focused on what would make people happy and feel right and good for Halo, which is a step up. But I wish they would do that and also just focus on making a really great Halo game. And I don't know if any developers happen to watch this, and I know there's a lot of great work that went into Halo Infinite, so I'm not saying this across the board, but there are a lot of things that were cut from this game, I'm sure. There were a lot of great things that could have been, that this game could have done, but it just did not, because it played it very, very safe. And I'm hoping that the next big Halo game learns from these lessons, and especially the multiplayer problems. And so I don't even know what they're doing right now, by the way. It's that they're promoting a Halo game that's T-rated. They're trying to get, let's be honest, they're trying to bring kids into Halo, and why at the same time they have this very M-rated show with, gore and butt cheeks and so on. It seems like there is conflicting goals in the marketing. And, the cookbook, which I'll talk about for a second, is just a cookbook with Halo slapped on top. But that is only going to work for so long, right? I think Halo can only depend on its legacy for so long. And eventually, people are going to move on, and that's why I think that it's straining. And I think broader audience seeing it is a really bad decision when you should instead build upon the existing legacy and what Halo means to people and really build upon that instead of trying to make a new IP that is pretending to be Halo. The broader audience goal for Halo Infinite, I think most of the damage was done on multiplayer, although there is remnants all over Halo Infinite's story and campaign and cutscenes and so on. I will say, however, the campaign got it the best and the worst on the multiplayer, and also the TV show. But again, remember, that was announced almost 10 years ago, and there's a supposed 10-year plan for Halo Infinite. So are things going to get better? Is the Halo TV show, is the multiplayer, are those aspects of Halo that aren't going to be changing? Anyways, guys, you let me know your own thoughts about this down in the comment section below. I want to hear what you think. I want to have a dialogue in the comment section below. And be sure to subscribe, join me on the journey of following Halo if you enjoy the content, and smash that like button. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Really do appreciate your viewership. I'll see you in the next one soon, alright? You take care.